Good morning, and thank you for joining us. It is Thursday, May 20th. President Barack Obama has finally shown his ideological cards over that last 18 months, and he is quickly, he's really losing the white working and middle class that was part of his 2008 election coalition. You know, the issues that are foremost important to them and most Americans are not the usual suspects. People like to talk about health care, and while health care is important, uh, the real issues for Americans are really and inclusive in that list are jobs, this immigration debate, strong defense, war against terror, and conservative social values. Americans really believe in values. Americans understand that people make choices, which they have a right to, but there are certain choices that they don't want seared into legislation and to just be drowned in. They just don't want to be drowned in the rhetoric. They just want people to do what they do. Let them do it in their private lives. We don't really need to know what they really do. That's between them and their creator. You know, the president is clearly on the wrong side of these very critical issues to these growing disenchanted, what I'm going to call Reagan Democratic voters. The president is really losing the Reagan Democratic voters. This is why Ronald Reagan was able to defeat Jimmy Carter, and it's like deja vu all over again. In fact, President Barack Obama is far more liberal than Jimmy Carter. Can you imagine that? His big government and stimulus spending is defying the logic of checkbook accounting that most Americans subscribe to. You just can't spend more money than that which you have in your checking account. I mean, the State Department, and I mentioned this, is now running around apologizing to the Chinese about the Arizona immigration law because supposedly it violates human rights. I mean, what is wrong with this picture? Given the Chinese past and current history of human rights abuses in their country, you're apologizing to them through the State Department? It is ridiculous. I mean, the president's Supreme Court choices are clearly out of sync with Reagan Democrats who don't believe a Latino jurist is inherently any wiser than a WASP, any other average American. They make us believe that in order to have the best jurists in the world, they have to come from Harvard or Yale. What about the other fine institutions in this country that produce some of the best leaders, some of the best genius, and the best creativity and leadership that this world has ever known? I mean, Yale and Harvard is not the only bastions of great leadership and great legal minds. I mean, this president is so elitist. I mean, he's so isolated from the real world. And now he thinks that he's created over 250,000 jobs. And the press is leading us to believe that there's an uptick in his poll numbers. There's no uptick in the president's poll numbers. This is just a charade. Again, President Barack Obama is the bullseye. All you need to do is look at where this bullseye is headed. Started with Virginia, landed in Virginia, went to New Jersey, swept New Jersey, left New Jersey, went to Massachusetts, took Massachusetts, went to Utah, overtook Utah, and now it has done the same in Pennsylvania. The ultimate target for the American people is the 2012 presidential elections, and the ultimate prize is the president himself to make sure that he doesn't ever serve two terms as president to finish wreaking havoc with his social engineering on the American people. I'm Armstrong Williams.